Hello, my name is Kazumi Yoshimura and I'm a master's student at Waseda University. Today I'll be presenting our paper, Synlogue with Aizuchi-bot investigating the cooperative and open-ended interaction paradigm. In this study, we present two conversational patterns, dialogue and synlogue, from existing research in linguistics and anthropology, and explore the potential of synlogue in computer-mediated communication. First, dialogue, as you know, is a conversational pattern in which speakers are expected to exchange complete messages in turn-taking. On the other hand, synlogue is a turn-coupling conversational pattern in which incomplete utterances are mutually delegated among speakers and complemented in cooperative overlapping manners. It has been noted in both linguistics and anthropology that synlogic conversational style has positive effects on generating psychological safety because of its co-constructive process. Based on its characteristics, we consider that computer-mediated synlogic interaction might migrate social divisions in today's information environment. This study proposed the design concept of synlogue, and we report the results of the experiment to explore the subjective factors for humans that facilitate synlogic interactions between humans and computers. In light of related works in fields of linguistics and anthropology, synlogue can be characterized for main features: incompleteness, overlap, multimodality, and co-adaptation. In particular, backchannels with multiple modalities such as Aizuchi, nodding, gestures, and facial expressions play important roles for these features. In the experiment, we focused on Aizuchis, which are especially important backchannels of synlogue in Japanese, and implemented Aizuchi-bot. Aizuchi-bot is a bot implemented with the algorithm from existing research and dynamically utters short utterances such as or hi, that means yep or in response to the speaker's speech. We prepared two patterns of voices for the Aizuchi-bot, one with constant inflection of synthetic voices and the other with various intoned human voices, and compared with silent partner. In the experiment, participants had to conduct tasks in which they talked freely on given topics to an online person who turned off camera. To reproduce this situation, a PC running Aizuchi-bot was placed in front of the participant with the Zoom screen displayed in full screen. A subjective evaluation questionnaire and a semi-structured interview were conducted after each task. I'll show you demonstrations of Aizuchi-bot. This pattern is a bot with synthetic voices.
私が一番思い出に残っている旅行は、5年くらい前に行った沖縄の、石垣島に行った旅行で、
This is the human voice pattern.
を友達と行ったんですけど、まあ滑れなくて、1日目は、スクールに入って滑ってで、2日目は自由に滑ろうみたいな感じで計画してスノーボードに行ったんですけど、なんか、全方みんな初心者みたいな感じで行って、でなんかそうですね、スキーって滑るのが慣れちゃってるじゃないですか。
We analyzed the data quantitatively and qualitatively. First, we conducted a paired t-test on subjective evaluation data using the silent pattern as the baseline and comparing the baseline with the pattern with the synthetic voices or the human voices, respectively. There were 5 items for which significant differences were obtained in both patterns. And the 2 items for which significant differences were obtained only for the synthetic voice pattern were being nervous and talks expanded beyond the topics. The only item that was significantly different for the human voiced bot was the conversation processed cooperatively. Next, the data from the semi-structured interviews were analyzed using the modified grounded theory approach. This analysis was conducted in terms of the process of generating synlogic conversation by Aizuchi-bot. 30 concepts were generated and 8 categories were found. I'll explain the process for categories related to synlogic interactions such as cooperative relationships, co-adaptation, and open-endedness. The process of co-adaptation and building cooperative relationships between the participants and the Aizuchi-bot were all triggered by the perception of humanness in the Aizuchi-bot. On the other hand, the process of failing to establish cooperative relationships were triggered by participants' perceptions that their conversation partner would be a machine. A process of restoration of cooperative relationships was also observed. Even when Aizuchi was uttered at an unexpected timing, in the case that the participants perceived humanness in the conversation partner, they became aware of trying to speak in accordance with Aizuchi. At this time, speakers tried to adjust the pace of speech or the timing of pause to Aizuchi-bot. As a result, co-adaptation occurs in which the speakers feel that the Aizuchi were appropriate timing. About the process of realizing open-endedness in conversations. When participants perceived humanness in the conversation partners or co-adaptation was occurred, ease and enjoyment like chatting was developed and the topic of conversation expanded. Cooperative relationships were established between humans and the Aizuchi-bot when they subjectively perceived humanness to the Aizuchi-bot, and features of synlogic interactions such as open-endedness and co-adaptation were observed. In order to have a synlogic interaction, it is necessary for the human to perceive the intention and predict the next action of the other party. Based on the results of the experiment, it is considered important for humans to be able to perceive their conversation partners as objects capable of such perceptions and predictions. Conclusion. In this study, we propose the design concept of synlogue based on linguistics and anthropology. As an example of synlogic interaction in human-computer interaction, we implemented and experimented with a prototype of Aizuchi-bot that utters Aizuchi backchannels. To realize synlogic interactions between humans and computers, it is important that humans subjectively perceive humanness to computers.